Hey there, I'm Susanna Riker. I help yoga teachers create digital offers and build online businesses that are financially sustainable and feel aligned with the way they actually want to live and work. And today I want to talk about something that has been very present in my work over the last year, especially in conversations with yoga teachers who are trying to grow their business online and feel increasingly frustrated because they're doing a lot. They're showing up, they're creating content, they're offering workshops and challenges and memberships and all the things. And yet the income still feels unpredictable. Some months are okay, others are really stressful. And there's this underlying feeling of I'm working so much harder than this should require. If that sounds familiar, I want to reassure you that in most cases, this is not because you're doing something wrong. It's because the structure underneath your business isn't really supporting consistency. So, in this episode, I want to walk you through what actually creates consistent income in a yoga online business in 2026 and beyond. Not what sounds good on Instagram, not what worked 10 years ago, but what I see working right now and what I've built my own business on. And the word that keeps coming up here is simplicity. Let's make things simple for you. Not because simple is necessarily easy, but because simplicity creates focus. And focus is what allows your income to stabilize and to be consistent. So let's start with a pattern that I see again and again. Many yoga teachers are constantly creating something new. Every few weeks or months, there's a new idea that feels exciting or urgent. For example, a yoga challenge or a new freebie or a small digital course or a live masterclass or a membership. And on some level, this makes sense. I get it. You're creative, you care deeply about your students, and you want to offer support in different ways. But over time, this approach creates a lot of fragmentation. Your message becomes harder to follow, and your audience, they're not quite sure what you really specialize in. What do you stand for? And your income depends entirely almost on how much energy you have to promote something right away. What I've learned, both in my own business and through working with many yoga teachers, is that consistent income doesn't come from constantly creating new offers. It comes from building a system that sells one core offer really well. I built a six-figure online business by focusing on one signature program, not by launching something new every few months. I actually did that mistake before I really learned to focus and to simplify. And yes, sometimes I get lost and I have to I rein myself back in and remember you're overcomplicating things, Susanna. Let's make it simple, right? Let's stop trying to appeal to everyone and solve every little problem, but instead commit to one clear transformation and refine how I communicate and sell it over time. This is what I want for you to do. That decision alone creates so much relief because instead of asking yourself over and over again, what to create next? What should I do next? What do I need to do now? Right? You start asking a much more useful question. How can I make this offer clearer, stronger, better, easier for the right people to say yes to? And this brings me to the first foundational piece of consistent income, which is your offer. And this is where I want to slow down a bit because this is also where I see so many yoga teachers unintentionally playing small. A lot of yoga teachers rely primarily on low priced offers. Things like a $20 monthly membership or a $97 course or a one off workshop. or a yoga challenge that you sell for $47. And again, there's nothing inherently wrong with these offers. They can be beautiful and valuable, but financially, they require volume. And if you don't already have a large, highly engaged audience, it's very hard to create stability this way. Trust me, I've been there. This is how I started. The problem here is you need a lot of people buying consistently, and that usually means constantly being visible and constantly promoting. And this is not where most of us want to start, right? The alternative is, let's look at that. If you sell an online program for a higher price point, for example, $500 or $1,000 or even $1,500 or $2,000, you only need a few sales per month to create meaningful income. So let's say you have $1,000 program and you make 3 sales per month on average. That's already life-changing for many people, you know? 3 people joining per month, that changes your relationship with your business. This isn't about pushing people or selling them something they don't need for a really high price point. It's about creating an offer that genuinely supports a deeper transformation and pricing it in a way that reflects the value of that work. What often gets in the way here is not lack of skill or experience, it's self-doubt. I hear yoga teachers say things like, I'm not sure I'm qualified enough, or there are already so many people teaching this, or I don't want to feel like I'm charging too much. But when I look at their background, their training, and the years they've spent supporting students, it's very clear that they already have what they need. What's missing isn't knowledge, but confidence in the impact of their work. A transformational offer like that also, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't need endless content or layers of bonuses. What it needs is clarity. It needs to solve a problem. Who is it for? And what kind of support does it provide over time? When you're clear on all that, your marketing becomes so much calmer. You're no longer trying to sell, you're explaining. You're inviting the right people into something you genuinely believe in, into something that you know is going to transform their lives. So, if consistent income is your goal in 2026, the first real step is embracing or accepting your wisdom, your expertise, and then choosing to create one strong, relevant offer and committing to it instead of spreading your energy across a lot of smaller ideas. So that's the first thing, right? The first step. The second foundational piece is your sales system. Because even the best offer won't sell consistently if people only hear about it during a launch. So most yoga teachers are taught that launching is the way to sell online programs. So they create something, they launch it, they promote it, and they make some sales. Then the launch ends and everything goes quiet. Then a few months later, they launch again, usually to the same audience. The results are often smaller. And by the third launch, there's very little response at all. At that point, it's easy to come up with the conclusion that online programs simply don't work for you. But the issue isn't the format, it's the reliance on short bursts of promotions instead of a long-term system. What I teach instead is setting up what I call an authority funnel. In practice, this means you launch your program once with a live masterclass. You teach something meaningful, you show your perspective, you explain how you work and who your program is for, and you invite people to take the next step. Then, instead of letting that masterclass disappear, you turn it into an evergreen training. That training becomes the central entry point into your work. That becomes your freebie. You share it regularly. You talk about it in your content. For example, This is my perspective on this. If you want to learn more, I have a free training for you. Comment training and I'll send you the link. This easy, right? So, and over time, it builds trust and understanding in a way that a short launch that people hear once a year about simply never can. And the beautiful thing is, this really changes how your business feels on a daily basis. You're no longer constantly preparing for the next launch, the next offer. You're not switching between different offers all the time. Everything you do supports one clear pathway. So let's say, for example, you support people with chronic pain through yoga. Your content naturally educates around pain, safety, regulation, and long term support. People begin to recognize you as an expert. When they watch your training, the next steps feels logical and not salesy because you're giving them basically the solution to their problem. This is step number 2, right? So step number 1 was your offer. Step number 2 is your sales system. And finally, I want to talk about what actually converts now and moving forward, because a lot of marketing advice is stuck in the past. Here's the most important lesson. You need to hear this. This is it. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to post every day. And you definitely don't need to go viral. Stop doing more. Stop thinking to grow your business. You simply need to do more, show up more. What matters is authority, relevance, and trust. Yes, people are more careful with their time and money. It's more difficult to sell something online, but that's a good thing. What they want before they're ready to buy is to feel understood. They want to know that the person they're learning from has depth and clarity, not just visibility. So the platforms like Instagram, how I see them, they're no longer stages. They're filters. When someone arrives on your profile, they're quietly asking themselves whether you are the right person for them, whether you can help them with a problem they're having. So your content isn't there to impress everyone who uses Instagram. It's there to help the right people recognize themselves in your work and feel safe staying. So the question to ask yourself when you create a post, for example, for Instagram, isn't will it perform well? Will it get seen by a lot of people? Will it get a lot of likes? Is whether it builds trust with the right people, with the people you actually want to work with. When your business is built around one strong offer and one clear sales system, your marketing naturally becomes more focused. You're not chasing attention, but you're building connections. And that's beautiful. This brings the joy back into promoting, into creating content. So let's sum it up how you can create consistent income in your yoga online business. Here's what you should do. Stop creating something new every other month. Choose one offer that truly reflects your expertise. Price it in a way that supports your life and build a system that allows people to find it, understand it, and say yes without pressure. This approach is sustainable and it gives you the space to actually enjoy your work and your life again. Instead of like thinking every day, what should I post on Instagram? What should I promote? Oh my God, I haven't talked about this in a while. I should talk about this again. And now about this offer. Everything has a focus and becomes really simple. If you want to learn more, if you want support with creating your online business sales system, I'm hosting a free masterclass on January 29th, 2026. So January 29th, next week, how to build a sales engine that sells your digital offers every day. It's a behind the scenes training for yoga teachers who are ready to create their signature online program and want a clear, sustainable system to get consistent sales. So if you think this is for you, you can sign up on my website if you go to susannereiche.com/masterclass. That's susannereiker.com, SUSANNEREIKER.com/masterclass. I hope I see you there. It's totally free. It's happening on January 29th. And yes, there will be a replay if you can't make it live, but I would really love to see you there. And it's going to be amazing. So I hope you make it. Thanks for being here. And I talk to you again soon. Bye for now.